We're back, Beagle.
Hello. Can you hear me this time?
Yes. You know what?
Howdy.
This show keeps getting better and better as we
Yeah?
as we sort out some of our technical issues.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, right? We don't want it to get worse and worse. That would not be good.
No, exactly.
Better is good.
This is. I was going to say this is just a warm up, but we've already had the warm up. We're actually. This is the main. Well, the main of the meal. We don't have a dessert because I'm more of a starter main person, and sweet stuff at the end of the meal. I'm not for it.
The dessert is where we fight each other, right? You and me?
Exactly. There's been talk in the broadcast room about us having to fighting. Well, not.
Oh.
We'll see.
In the game. In the game, exactly. I hope.
Yes. Otherwise, there'll be some type of weird. Someone has to travel really far and it'd be really annoying, and we can't really do that. I would need broadcast to invite me to the lobby though, because otherwise I won't be able to watch Lollip versus OrdinaryHarry, which is the main event of tonight. They crushed the competition in the warm-up 2v2. Now let's see who's gonna come out on top. Beagle, what do you say? Should we just get them in here?
The players?
Mm-hmm. For an interview?
Absolutely. Let's hear what they have to say. That sounds great.
Yeah, let's do it. Lollip, Harry, hello. How are you doing?
Just shitting myself. A little. Bit nervous.
I'm good. I'm great. I'm ready.
I mean, you've already got one win under your belt for trash talk purposes. Who's going to win this one?
I'm not particularly. I mean, Harry is a little intimidating. He was even in another tournament I watched recently with my friends. So I thought, wow, he gets around, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. He's gonna wipe the floor with me. But I'm gonna do my very best anyway. To give us a good show.
Did he win against your friends?
That's a good question. Did you?
No, I didn't. I lost in the other one.
Oh, really?
So don't be intimidated. Yeah.
Who won? Who won then?
Oh, no. Harry, question. Are you lulling Lollip into a false sense of security now?
No. Anything can happen, right? You get a bad start and you can't recover, and then you're done. I don't think Lollip is a bad player. She played really well, actually. So
that's really nice. That's really nice of you to say such. You stretched the truth a little bit, but appreciate it.
It's suspiciously nice, isn't it? He's up to something.
I know. I should be way more confident. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna trash you, mate. Yeah, you stood a chance, mate. But I can't do it. Can't do it.
I feel like this is a problem when we have players that are too nice to each other. But we'll see.
I'm gonna work on my trash.
Well, you've got until week 4. When we're here for the final, I want like proper aggressive trash talk of the caliber that you then instantly in Discord have to apologize to the other person. You're like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
I know. I don't want to say anything and then just wind up looking stupid later. So I just be modest, and then if I do it, I'm gonna go, yay.
You know what we'll do? Do you know what we'll do on week 4? We'll have you submit trash talk, and then me and Beagle will read it, but we won't reveal who it's from, so that no one's gonna look bad. But we get like good trash talk. What do you think, Beagle?
This is simpler than my idea. I was just going to say that we should just do the trash talk for them. Like, we'll just insult each other for them on their behalf because they're too nice to do it.
That works too.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a great solution.
Can you do an impression of me?
You know what? This has gone on for far too long. Lollip, Harry, you guys need to get ready. So thank you so much for the interview, because I am not prepared to do trash talk right now. Okay, well, time to practice the trash talk, I guess. I'm sure we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We're horrible.
I am going to stomp on your. No, I'm not going to say. We'll figure it out. We're just going to do it
My
live.
defensive missiles will go, and regardless, the game is about to start. It's 0-0. It's Harry versus Lollip. Let's see what they go for. Lollip has gone for the Marksman Reinforcement, Mustangs and Crawlers. Classic, good start. Love Mustangs. Hate
They're fast.
Having to fight against Crawlers. Yeah, it's very fast comp so far from Lollip. Harry taking a bit longer to decide what he wants.
And it was Arclights and Balls in the end there.
Yeah, let's actually have a look at Harry's side to see what they're dealing. Yeah, Arclight and Balls. We've seen this start before tonight.
Yes, we saw it just before in the previous matches. Now, when we're looking at our first deployment here, so you start with 2 units and you can unlock 1 unit per round. So if you're watching your other player trying to figure out what you have to beat, you have to figure out how to beat the 2 units you can see on the field already, and then the mystery unit they're going to build. Yeah. That's a little harder for Harry because Lollip went Marksman Specialist. So she starts with 3 unit types. She's got Mustangs, Crawlers, and the Marksman. Makes it a little bit harder to deal with her. The Arclights for Harry will melt those Crawlers. The Balls, I don't know if they're going to do amazing against the Mustangs. And then, I mean, that's what he bought. He bought the Balls.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm in love with the Balls here.
Well, so he got the Arclights and the Balls from the Specialist, and now he's bought...
Oh, for free, I'm wrong.
Yes, and now he's unlocked Crawlers. They cost nothing to unlock, and he's bought 2 sets of them, which leaves him with 50 resources for a defensive missile. And look at Lollip with the amount of Crawlers coming out here. With the 2 Crawlers from the start together with the Mustangs, and then 2 more. It's going to run straight into Arclights, though, but should be able to deal with the Balls if the Arclights are overwhelmed. We'll see how
This is the Crawl round, I think. We've been saying Balls. I think now it's time for Crawls, because there's enough of them to last long enough. Level 1 Arclights won't kill them too quick. That level 3 Marksman might get through them in time, but that missile does skew it. Let's see.
Yeah. And you know what they say? You have to crawl before you can walk. And that's...
I thought you were going to say you have to crawl before you can bowl.
That would have been better, but my pun game is very bad.
That's okay. Speaking of things that are very bad, Lollip's side is very dead. And that's unfortunate. That missile taking out some of our crawlers did not help. And then the Arclights did eat all of the bugs, which was not great. For a minute there, I thought that her level 3 Marksman was going to handle that by killing the Arclights in time. But there just wasn't really enough time to get them done before the crawlers were already gone.
Okay, so Harry goes for Intelligent Arclight, more XP, and Lollip skipped. Let's have a look at what Lollip is going to do with all of that extra resources. Sitting at 500. Ooh, unlocking Phoenix and buying 2.
Air's really nice here because Harry has no anti-air counter. So round 2, if your opponent has no anti-air counter, if you don't think they're going to buy one, free win. Go for something airborne.
Let me... Exactly, and I'm just double-checking, because I, for bad reasons, keep getting the anti-air upgrade for my Arclights, but of course our players have not unlocked that, because it's not the starting set of upgrades you can get.
Unfortunate.
Also, I don't think it's one of the better ones for the Arclights. I just like it because I have an idea that at some point it'll be great. But
good against wasps. I mean, it's flexibility. If you go hard wasps, I mean, if you go hard Arclights and then they go into air, you've got an option, and that's what the upgrades are about. You because they get more expensive every one you buy. You don't want to plan your set around, I'm going to get everything on one unit. You want to have it be, these are options for how the round could go, and it lets me flex into something. Sledgehammers for Harry here.
Yeah,
which are going to deal with the crowds even better.
And another defensive missile that just goes out. I'm bad at clicking on the buttons quickly enough.
Look at the bar upgrade here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately not enough, but that bar upgrade was an interesting buy because it lowers the amount of damage the crawlers take on the way in, but it's just not enough. Sledgehammers are AoE, Arclights are AoE, and you're just playing a very crawler-heavy frontline into a very AoE crowd clear lineup that kills them. However, no anti-air, so free win.
This is a thing that kind of surprises me, though, because I tend to be... whenever I unlock a new unit, especially early on, we've seen that Lollipop has only bought one set of Phoenixes because they come in twos. Do you think it's... I'm like, why didn't she buy two? Because I think she had the resources for it. Maybe she didn't actually.
She must have been... Well, because she bought the Burrowing Crawlers upgrade, which would be quite expensive at this point in the game.
Yeah.
So I think she was like, okay, I've invested in Crawlers so much. That it's not working, but the Burrow will let them get into range. Unfortunately, she doesn't know that the Sledgehammers have just been bought, and that's just so much AoE crowd clear. But the Phoenixes are a great insurance policy here. Because of no anti-air, it's an instant win. She just cleared everything with them. It's a great pickup.
It does kind of force Harry to now he has to get some anti-air. So we'll see what that is, because currently I don't think any of the units he has an ability to become anti-air, if I recall correctly. Lollip skipping again, so does Harry. Let's look at Harry's point of view here and see what they can do. Yeah.
Otter on air for Lollip, meanwhile she's getting Wasps. What is Harry getting?
Harry is getting Mustangs.
Great counter. Always a great anti-air unit. They're like the anti-air unit, I think.
They're also decent against the crawlers. They're not great in the same way that Arclights are, but they're not bad. And let's see. Spending money to be able to buy one extra unit deployment here, and that's crawlers. So 2 sets of Mustangs and the flanking crawler meta is alive and well.
As it always is. I like the Mustangs here.
Yeah.
Don't like where they're placed. They're 16 speed. They're going to race in front of the formation, and they're going to die immediately. If those Mustangs were placed at the back, here we go. Please place them at the back of the map so that they can have the Sledgehammers tank in front of them, and then they'll live long enough to do the damage.
Yeah.
Mustangs are fragile.
Yeah, and let's so this... Oh, here we go. Press...
Huge amount of Wasps from Lollip. Going hard in the air.
Oh, yeah. You love to see it. Unfortunately,
I do love to see
Mustangs now. But yeah, I am kind of a sucker for Wasps. They're just not... Oh, here comes the crawlers.
Where comes the crawlers? Oh, the flank crawlers. Oh,
yeah.
It's not really in time for the battle, sadly.
No.
But, I mean, they already win.
Yeah, even without the crawlers, I think Harry had it there. Let's... Okay. Well, Assault Vulcan
is on the table. I'm really surprised to see these players skip their upgrades so much. I rarely skip. I think there's usually something good. Rhino Assault for Harry, which is a drop-in Rhino for this round.
Yeah, the one time the main reason for skipping for me is usually if I know what I need to use my resources for, and I can't afford to buy something that costs like 115 resources because I already have a plan that's like buy 3 sets of Wasps or whatever. But yeah, like most of the reinforcements are actually decent. Even the oil slicks, as we saw in the previous matchup.
Oh, I'm scared for Lollip here. Lollip is bringing in Mustangs of her own. Mustangs have low damage but shoot it pretty fast. I find they really struggle to get through units with big health pools that are kind of on their own. They're also quite fragile. These Sledgehammers have a good amount of AoE splash. So the Sledges v the Mustangs are going to HE round rip those formations up. I don't know what the Mustangs are here for, but I do know that I think they're going to get blown the hell up by those Sledges and those Arclights.
Yeah. It's an interesting upgrade on the one marksman.
Rhino in the back. Rhino dropping. That's bad times.
Yeah, because that thing is going to hit that tower just when Lollip wants to do proper damage here. Yep, here we go. And now all of their units do 90% less damage, and they're slowed by 80%.
They're gone.
Yeah, there's some slow Mustangs here in the back that has been dealing with the crawler flank, but that is not going to be enough. That is a massive army coming in from Harry. And we can see that on Lollip's face cam as well. She is not pleased. She has 1 round to figure out what to do. Because if she can't turn this around, you know, it's probably...
Yeah,
it's probably a GG. Okay, so we're going to stick on Lollip's point of view here to see what her plan is. She's tried a few different things. They haven't really worked out.
I think the big issue for Lollip is that her army is entirely one type of thing, and that type of thing is crowds. Every unit she has, she's placed on a Rhino now, I don't know if it was there before, but everything she has is a swarm. So that makes you very easy to counter, because you buy units that are good against swarms, which is one type of damage, really.
Yeah.
She needs to go hard here. This is the round you live or die. It's time to go into debt, which is my plan in real life as well. But if you go to the command center on the left, you can hit the rapid resupply button. You pay 300 next turn, but you get 200 this turn, basically for free. Or you get 300 now, you pay 200 next turn anyway. It's like a loan. And she needs to be hitting that, just getting as much out as she can.
There you go.
Because it's do or die. You know, you got to just worry about the consequences next round, because you won't be here if you don't live through this one. Over the missiles.
Let's go to cinematic view. Rhino is dealing with the backline on the left. Mustang's on the right, but is she getting anything on the right-hand side front? Unfortunately, her shields have been slightly... well, it's not that they have been misplaced. It's that the Mustangs mostly drove out of them before...
Too fast.
Yeah, too fast. And that is going to be game 1 to Harry.
GG.
Very well played by Harry. And with that said, as always, the trickiest question of the match, which unit won it for Harry?
You know, it is a tricky question, this setup, because I think it's a non-answer, but it was the combined force. So, you know, I could say balls for Harry were the linchpin of tanking, but it was the fact that Harry had a little bit of everything, big units, small units, and different damage types at the start, but in the end, he just had to go into AoE Splash to handle all of Lollip's crowd units. I would like to see from Lollip in the upcoming round her diversify her forces a bit more.
Yeah.
And not have all the same kind of thing, because it just makes you very easy to play against that kind of thing.
And it's like, once again, one of the things that did surprise me was the fact that she dipped her toe in a lot of different things. There were the Phoenixes, getting that one round, and then buying one set of Phoenixes, unlocking Wasps, and then buying 2 sets of Wasps, but then not going any further than that. And like you said, most of her stuff was large crowds, which Harry could then deal with. But, you know, there's something to be said about it costs money to unlock a lot of these units, and that's resources that could be spent on other things, unless you really need that unit type to either counter or like push your advantage.
Yeah. So the thing I learned with this game is early on, you'll fall into the trap easily of just being like, I've got a counter pick. They put down this, I'll put down this unit that's good against it. Da-da-da-da-da. The problem is that lures you into letting the opponent have the initiative, and you're just kind of like dancing to their tune. What's more important, I think, is building a cohesive army on your side, and you won't be doing that if you're just picking whatever counters the last thing they placed. And that, like you said, you're just doing a little bit of a lot, but you're not really like doing a good build of one thing, and in the end, your army just won't be balanced enough to stand up in the later rounds.
Yeah, and as we can see here, we might be down to our final match of the night here. Harry is up 1 to Lollip 0, and of course these are best of 3s. So if Harry wins another game, it's going to be GG, and we are going to be done for tonight. So I'm sending out all of my posse vibes to Lollip to see if she can claw this back. I know she has it in her. Let's see what happens while we wait for the next lobby here to be set up. That always takes a bit of time, unfortunately, but that's just how the game works. And maybe our players wants to, you know, actually stretch and do their thing. Here we go. I can see that stuff's happening in the back end where I watch my my gameplay. So what was I going to say? Yes. Is there any unit, now that I think about it, is there any unit we've not seen. Well, there's the obvious one we haven't seen tonight, but I also don't think we're exactly. But I also don't think we're gonna see hackers realistically, because it's such a. It's one of those units you drop in and then you either lose or you somehow magically win because your opponent's like, "What the heck is that?"
I think hackers were more of a gimmick before, but that recent update that gave them the multiple control beams has made them, I think, a really reasonable part of an army. They counter things in a way that other units can't. Yeah. And I think it's surprising how well they can do against crowds now. Bad against crawlers still, but fangs and up, they do quite good now.
Yeah, it's one of those, right? Oh, I will keep talking about hackers some other time because I can see that the game is starting in 1 second, which means we are going to go into game 2 out of this best of 3 between Lollip versus OrdinaryHarry. Let's see what we have. OrdinaryHarry with the Rhino Reinforcement, Giant Specialist, Supply Specialist, and Speed Specialist. Lollip with the Elite Specialist, Marksman Reinforcement, Cost Control, and Quick Supply. Let's see, do we have anything exciting? Lollip going with the Quick Supply, Crawlers, and Stormcallers. And Harry going with the Rhino Specialist, I think. Let's jump over to Harry's... Well, let's... stuff is happening. Turning off the chat there. Okay, so we have Phoenix and Crawlers on Harry's side. Does Lollip have any counter to that? I don't think she does, right? Because she has Stormcallers and
she
Crawlers.
Needs to get one.
Yeah, so
this is really a rough start for her because she's Quick Supply Specialist. Her only advantage is having more money in round 1. So you want to come out the gate swinging. Harry is the opposite. Harry has a level 2 Rhino coming in for free on round 3. If Lollip does not have an advantage by then, she's not going to get it then when the Rhino comes in. And because she starts out Stormcallers and Crawlers versus Crawlers and Phoenixes, the Stormcallers are a liability here. The Crawlers, they're not good against the Crawlers, and they can't hit the Stormcallers. So she needs to get inventive to win this.
I also like the fact that Harry has gone for like recognizing that the Phoenixes, while they're fast, the Crawlers are fast, they're 16 speed each, putting them in the back so that they're not gonna, fly ahead in case Lollip puts down a marksman somewhere and just whacks them in the skull. But that there's some Mustangs.
Harry's doing column.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Maybe he's worried about arc lights. Because columns do, I think, mitigate part of an arc light hit. Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different formation. But the problem is, with the Crawlers in column, the Stormcallers, well, they're too far back anyway. But yeah, actually, I think Lollip's got this nicely. The Mustangs are going to do good damage. The Stormcallers are going to hit up the Crawlers with the type of any left. The Mustangs just have to live long enough to kill the Phoenixes. I'm not sure if they will. It might be an auto win of the Phoenixes.
But also, those Mustangs were units that Lollip unlocked. So that was kind of her. Okay, this is what I'm gonna get to try and counter. Unfortunately, they were eaten by an arc light, and now it's gonna come down to these for Phoenix, just shooting some Stormcallers.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but the Mustangs, it's the thing we talked about with the Fangs earlier in the night. When your only AA walks out in front and dies before the air gets to you, well, you haven't got AA anymore. And the Mustangs are a good idea there, but because they're so far forward and the Stormcallers are so far back, they didn't fight together, and they went in one by one.
However, she did get lucky in the sense that she subsidized Mustangs came up, which just makes them cost 50 less. So in theory, she can actually bring out 2 more Mustangs. She didn't do that though. She bought a set of Phoenix.
I think that's good though. Like if she goes more Mustangs here, it's the same problem as her last round. Again, going hard in the crowds, and the enemy has arc lights, which are anti-crowd. So don't get more Mustangs. Get something healthy now is what we want. Get something tough.
Yeah.
And the Phoenixes are fine here because they're flying marksmen who are hopefully going to stay behind the lines this time and live long enough to duel the enemy Phoenixes. Still really... I mean, she won the ground game decently for a while. Oh, but she really needs something tough down here. Here we go.
Oh, and there.
So the missiles are going off.
There are flanking crawlers in top right coming in from Harry.
Oh, the classic.
No, actually, is it crawlers or is it? No, it's crawlers.
It's crawlers.
Right? Yeah.
The classic. There goes the tower. You'd think that they would see these coming at this point, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's very popular.
And honestly, I think one of the best ways to counter this early, right, is just put down the defensive missile over your tower, or slightly behind your tower in case you don't have arc lights or you've placed your units too far forward. You won't suffer the first flank if that's the case. It'll deal with it, but now you know.
It's a good
you can
idea.
counter it.
It's a good idea there because also you're like, people will not place the crawlers there because they're like, oh, they'll just die to a missile. So it's like a mind game.
Yeah, I've actually won a game once where I was like, I'm gonna soak this hit with these crawlers, and then my opponent just didn't notice, so didn't put another defensive missile down. So the round after, I hit the towers and got rid of it, and it was fine.
Yeah.
And here's, since we are in round 3, Harry has got his level 2 Rhino that has been placed in a flanking position. And
a Vulcan!
Here comes the Vulcan. And another Phoenix.
This is going to be really effective.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry not to talk over you there, but this is going to be really effective because, again, Lollip is mostly crowds, Mustangs, Crawlers. There is nothing in her army except for the Phoenixes and the Stormcallers.
Yeah,
and their backline.
I would have loved to see some sledgehammers, or actually just some utility marksmen, just because it's nice to have them in the back if this happens.
Yes. She's placed her own crawlers to fight Harry's crawlers, so hopefully she's not going to get her tower taken out, but even so, the Mustangs are going to fall to the Vulcan incredibly quickly. The Phoenixes could kill the Vulcan, but they're tied up by Harry's crawlers, and that's the power of the combined arms front there. They can't hit the unit they're best at. More flanking crawlers. Flanking Rhino. He placed his level 2 Rhino on the flank. Oh boy.
And now that Rhino's just going to eat up the Stormcallers in the back. And unfortunately, the Phoenix can't do anything about it because they've been stunned, so they're not doing any damage. Well, they're doing very little damage.
Yeah, and they just are not getting to the right units because Harry has those crawlers in front that soak up all of the Phoenix shots. And so that's a big part of the game, of course, is positioning your formation so that your enemy's units are fighting the unit they're worst at killing in your army all the time.
And one of the other things I want to point out here as well is that with that Vulcan pick from Harry, if Harry's feeling confident, this is what you want to do, right? At some point, you need to get the bigger units in, because if they survive, they do so much more damage than other things can do. And you don't want the game, if you're in a commanding lead, you don't want the game to run too long. You want to whittle down your opponent's HP essentially as quickly as possible, and the way to do that is to, survive the battle with more expensive units. Okay, here we go. Hold on to your butt. The hacker's coming out, but unfortunately, she placed it in such a way that it's not aggroing on the Rhino. I'm actually not sure that can take out a level 2 Rhino anyway.
All she needs to do here to get that Rhino is place, 1, have the hacker aggro onto it, but 2, place some steel balls in front. Unsupported, the hacker will not be able to, it deals hacking damage. Will not be able to steal it, but with some balls, you can get that Rhino and try to turn the tide, and balls will be good against the Vulcan too. But at this point, in round 4, her comp, as I keep saying, it's a bit behind the curve. She doesn't have the answers yet for the Phoenixes, doesn't have the answers for a lot of things, and she's running out of time to be able to not fall behind and make those solutions.
Yeah. But then again, there's a hacker, so, I
think the hacker will just win, you're right. Yeah, here it comes. The hacker's gonna hack the game.
It is gonna change into a hacker meta. Heard it here first.
Nice shield on the Vulcan, gonna make it even more effective.
Yeah. And in the top left, we can see the hacker versus the Rhino. Rhino doesn't even care, just goes for the tower.
No. Rhinos are slayers. They're bullies of when you don't know how to counter them. They will not teach you, they will enjoy the wins. And that's what that one's doing right there. Yeah, it's a breakthrough again for Harry here. And just the the bell is tolling. You know, the tide is a little too turned.
Okay, let's...
Whoa.
Oh, okay. So this is... Realistically, this is the final round for Lollip, unless something big happens.
Improved melting point.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You know what? Maybe. Oh,
listen, channel our psychic waves. Improve melting point. Melting point in the back. Kill the rhino. Somehow carry the game.
It's not the worst. Like, it's not a good idea, but it's not the worst idea.
Well, at this point, you haven't got great ones because, you know, when you've been losing this many rounds in a row, you are behind. And it's not any nicer here. Harry, too nice to trash talk, but not nice enough to not nuke Lollip while she's down. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be very nice for her when she sees that coming at the start of her battle here.
Oh yeah, let's remind everyone because we've been watching Lollip. Yeah, Harry has placed the nuke. He's fed up. He wants this to be over, and he wants it to be over with like a lot of units left on his side.
Yeah. And he wants to break some international treaties while he does it, deploying weapons like that. I want to see Lollip's reaction. I want to see her face when that nuke comes in. Oh. Maybe I'm cruel.
Sorry, I thought we were going straight into the cinematic view, but Lollip's actually not done, so let's go over to her point of view.
I want to see it.
Yeah, for those interested in lore, this game takes place on a newly colonized planet somewhere in the far reaches of space somewhere. That's all I know. That's all the lore I know.
I got to catch the reaction I wanted there, and Lollip was like, oh boy, when she saw the nuke come in there.
Yeah.
And oh boy, he's gonna be right. Here it comes.
Okay, go, Hacker, go! Go! Aw, poor Hacker. That's not good enough.
It is not good enough, and it has dire consequences for the atmosphere of this planet, that nuke going up, I think, but dire consequences for Lollip too. I don't think this one crawler here is gonna do it.
Go, crawler, go! No. And that is GG. That is Harry taking home the win. Beagle, I'm going to ask you the hardest question of the night. What unit won that for Harry?
What was winning in the start? Because all I can think about now is the Rhino. But help me remember. What was the starting units of Harry again?
You know what? I don't remember. Was it? No, it was Phoenix and Crawlers.
Phoenixes was the unit of the match there. Thank you. Harry placed them right. Harry placed them at the back. Yeah. And because they're at the back and flyers, they never got targeted. They were always screened by a healthy front line, and they did their work the whole time. You saw that. This is why you can't just counterpick, and you know that's not the whole game because positioning. Because Lollip was like, Mustangs, let's get some AA. But the Mustangs had to chew through Harry's entire army to get a shot at those Phoenixes, and it never happened. When you see a unit like that, it's not always the right thing to panic and go, counterpick that unit that's killing me. You gotta go, what if I kill the front line that is allowing that unit time to kill me first? If she'd got units that would work through Harry's front line and then had any other AA, then the Phoenixes die at the end. And that's the kind of the way you gotta think with this game. It's a lot deeper than you start out with it. That's why it's so awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, Mexico, boom, let's play. And I was like, oh, there's strategy to this. Talking about using strategy to win, let's talk to Ordinary Harry, who clearly used strategy to win. Congratulations, Harry.
Thank you so much.
You did it. 2-0. Strong win.
Indeed.
And even with a spicy nuke at the end.
Yeah, I threw that nuke, you know, just to make sure that everything was ending. I used everything on that. If she managed to come back, then I would have been in trouble, for sure.
It's a good move though. Like when you know they're on their last legs, go for everything and finish them off with missiles, call-ins before they can come back.
Yeah, I got loans, I got missiles, I got nukes. I used it all just to finish off the game.
One of the things me and Beagle were talking about before you joined us was your starting comp, and if I recall correctly, it was Crawlers and Phoenixes.
Yes, it was Crawlers and Phoenixes.
Why did you pick that comp?
because I thought the Rhino would be funny. Backstab.
Yeah, oh, right, and because you did also flank the Rhino. How are you feeling about the current flanking meta that has been evolving in Mechabellum Challengers?
I think it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and if you're playing to entertain, that's what you should be doing. A little bit of flanking, a little bit of nukes, a little bit of the fun stuff in the game. The game is a lot of fun.
Did you see that Lolip tried to put down a hacker to stop your Rhino?
I did. I actually panicked when I saw that one, but then I remembered, because I tried that too, I remembered that unless your Rhino is damaged, then it's very difficult for the hacker to take over. Doesn't have the time, and I also gave a speed boost to my Rhino, so he was running very fast. And I think she needed to put some kind of swarm units in front of the hacker just to delay the Rhino a little bit so that the hacker can do the work. I think just the hacker doesn't.
No, it was a well-placed Rhino cleaning out both the towers and then the Stormcallers. Harry, thank you so much for playing tonight. We will, of course, see you back next week.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. Okay, Beal, we are almost done. We have one more thing to do, which is look at the leaderboard to kind of remind ourselves what happened tonight. Of course, I had a warm-up, a game that Lollip and Harry won. And then Happy Thoughts versus Deeplex Heated. 2-0 win for Happy. And then, of course, our winner matchup, Lollip versus Harry, as we just saw. 2-0 win for Harry. With knowing what we know now, what do you think Deeplex and Lollip need to do until next week to claw back some wins?
I would say there's two big things that I saw in the matches tonight that I would say, if they want some advice, let's think about this. The first thing is, like I was trying to say, try not to think only in terms of, I'm going to counter the unit you just placed with this unit. Try to think in terms of combining different units together makes them better than the sum of their parts. Try to think about, I'm trying to make an army that works together well. Frontline, backline damage, artillery, air. Everything works together well in a nice concert, and it makes you a lot less brittle. The other thing I'd really like to see, because I don't want to see any more crawler flanks, you don't need to die to them. When you get those starting units, a great thing you can do, place them on your flanks. Level of the tower or just behind it. Any flanking crawlers that come in, your units that you've placed from turn 1 are there to protect you, and they'll kill them for you. And now you never have to worry about it for the rest of the game. You're set, as long as they can kill crawlers. We saw crawlers flank towers so many times tonight, it doesn't have to happen. And with new formations, it doesn't have to be you.
Very, very well put. I'm going to give a newbie advice that it took me 10 plus hours to learn, and that is when you pick up a unit and place it somewhere else, that circle that you have around the unit, that's its actual range. That's really useful to know when you're placing your units close to the front line, because then you know when they'll start shooting. That's been my noob tip of the week.